Hindi, diretsuhin na natin itong si Ma'am Sestrilon. Alam ko naman itong mga dilawan, pinklawan na to, hirap nilang tanggapin. Ha? Yung tipong, yung ideya lang ha, na magpipresidente si VP Sara sa 2028, kulang na lang magwala itong mga dilawan at pinklawan na to. Tanggapin nyo na kasi. Sa ayaw sa gusto nyo, magpipresidente si VP Sara sa 2028. Ang problema ko kasi dito mga kababayan, kinukumpara nila ito si Leni Robredo, dito kay VP Sara, tumataas daw siya sa survey. Sa loob ng 4 na taon, 4 na taon, 3 taon mahigit, mag-4 na taon, o 4 na taon. Itong si Leni Robredo, nag-hibernate siya, nanahimik siya. Si VP Sara sa loob ng 4 na taon, hindi, para ano lang naman, para lang maintindihan ng mga dilawan at pinklawan na to. Kung gaano katindi itong si Vice President Sara Duterte. Habang itong si Leni, pinagbubunhi yung pagtatayo ng mga fast food dyan sa Naga, si VP Sara sa loob ng 4 na taon, walang humpay ang pagbira sa kanya. Tapos number 1 pa rin siya sa survey. Ano yung tipong, isipin nyo, hayaan nyo muna, matulog kayo mamayang gabi, at magnilay-nilay kayo, isipin nyo kung paano nangyari. Sa loob ng 4 na taon, tinitira si VP Sara habang si Leni Robredo nananahimik siya Naga, nagdiriwang sa pagtatayo ng KFC doon. Si VP Sara walang humpay ang pagbira sa kanya. Pero number 1 pa rin siya sa survey. Walang bumanat kay Leni, walang nanira kay Leni, mayat maya ang picture taking niya pa kay Marcos Jr. Pero ang isa talagang sobrang nagdamdam ako noong nakita ko yung numero nitong si Risa Hontiveros sa survey. Sa kasamaang palad ho, isinuot na niya lahat ng magagandang damit. Umaura siya, yung antipara niya, talagang lahat na ginawa niya. Negative. 0.01 ho ang kanyang pinakahuling Pulse Asia survey. Pero bago ang lahat ng yan, sa like at sa subscribe. Masaya na ho tayo dyan sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community. Yung join button, nandyan lang ho sa baba. Mamaya na ho natin pag-usapan yung interview na yan itong si Ma'am Sestrilon. Unahin na ho muna natin ang mga punto de vista nitong si Prof. Malutikia dyan sa nangyaring rally sa Liwasang Bonifacio. Para talagang magkaalaman na, di ba? Sa tingin natin, matatapos ba administrasyon? Hindi natin alam. Pero ang akin dito, nahihirapan na sambahin ng Pilipino. Una sa lahat na pinakauna natin dapat gawin dito sa bansa na to, iuwi si Tatay Digong sa Pilipinas. Pangalawa ay magpresidente si Vice President Sara Duterte. Ito sa 2028 yan, may masobrahan ng singhot itong si Marcos Jr. Di natin alam. Misteryoso ang tadhana. Hindi natin alam kung ano mangyayari sa mga susunod na panahon. Malay nyo ngayon, nagbablog tayo, bukas hindi na tayo nagbablog, di ba? Umagawa tayo ng reaction video ngayon, bukas hindi na. Walang kasiguraduhan lahat ng bagay. Hindi lang naman applicable yan sa mga politiko, maging sa ating mga ordinaryong Pilipino. Applicable yan. Huwag nyo masamayin, baka akala nila. Pinagdadasal natin na kung ano pa mga hindi maganda dito kay Marcos. Hindi yun natin gagawin yan. Ito na ho si Prof. Malutikia.
Okay lang. Maraming salamat sa pagpunta ngayon. Itong gabing ito sa pagtindig at sa pakikisama sa nangyayari sa ating bansa. Mahalaga ho na bawat Pilipino ay tumatayo, nagsasalita dahil ang kinabukasan ho natin, hindi na ho siguro ang henerasyon ko, pero yung mga anak at apo ninyo ay napakahalagang paglaban natin ang kanilang kinabukasan. Wala ho ito sa leader. Nasa sa atin ho dahil tayo ang nagbigay ng mandato sa lahat ng nahalal. At yung lahat na nahalal, hindi makapagsalita dahil lahat sa kanila nagbenepisyo. Ang hindi lamang nagbebenepisyo tayong mga Pilipino. Kaya napakalaki ho ng pasasalamat namin, lalo na ng mga organizers, na kayo ay pumunta dito, na tayo'y nagkita-kita, at tayo ay naihaing natin ang ating kalooban. Alam ba ho nyo na ang utang ng Pilipinas ay 18.5 trillion na? ang bawat Pilipino ay may utang na 164,000. Yun ang mga buntis na hindi pa nanganganak, may utang na ang inyong anak.
Aray ko. Pambihirang yan. Naisip mo palang gumawa ng bata, may utang na kagad. Ganon. Wag na lang. Ang bihira.
At
Ang
ang
hirap ng
bawat
buhay sa
pamilyang
Pilipinas.
Pilipino ay may utang na 674,750. Ang laki ho, no?
Laki.
Pero ang pagbabayad ng VAT, tayo rin ho yun. Tama ho? Pag tayo ay bumili, may VAT. Pag tayo ay nagbayad ng elektrisidad, may VAT. Pag tayo ay online, gusto na rin nilang ilagyan ng VAT. Okay? Pag ganon, sabi ni Sir, tama ho yun. Kaya kailangan ang gobyerno ay maging responsable at accountable sa taong bayan. Ngayon, sana ho, pagdating sa 2028, maghalal tayo ng bagong muka. Yung kayang ipaglaban tayo, yung hindi magnanakaw, at hindi magkukubli sa responsibilidad nila na magkaroon ng maayos na flood control dito sa ating bayan. So, hindi na ho ako magpapakahaba. Labanan po natin ang korupsyon. Wag naman yan, sir. Baka lahat tayo mahuli, no? Sa bagay, hindi nila kaya ilagay lahat ng taong ito sa kulungan, no? Oo, no? So, patuloy po natin paglaban. Alam ko po na napakahirap. Alam ko po na marami na sa kasamahan namin ang nakulong. Pero ngayong gabi, sabi ko kay Cathy, sige na nga, magsasalita ako. Ayoko umakyat sa entablado dahil hindi naman ho ako politika at hindi naman ako tumatakbo. Pero kung ang rason sa pag-akyat ko sa entablado ay dahil sa pagmamahal ng ating bansa, aakyat po ako. Dahil yan na rin po ang sinusukli ko sa inyong pagpunta dito, sa inyong pagtayo, at sa inyong pagbigkas ng unang yung gustong sabihin sa ating gobyerno. Wag ho muna sugod, no? Sa July 27 ho, magkakaroon ng State of the Nation Address.
Nako, yan na yan. Yan sinasabi ko.
Ha? Naalala nyo ang sinabi niya, mahiya naman kayo. Isang taon na ho, hindi ho nahihiya ang ating nahalal. So, ano ang ating mensahe? Mahiya kayo.
Mahiya kayo.
Mahiya kayo. Mahiya kayo. Marami pong salamat sa inyong lahat at
Salamat, Prof. Malu, ha. Ano ako dito sa kapanalig natin na to. Sakaling tumakbo to, talagang, alam ko, wala nang balak tumakbo itong si Prof. Malu. Kung sakali lang, isa yan talaga sa mga ikakampanya natin dito sa PH Update niya, si Prof. Malu Tigea. Maraming salamat para sa pagtindig sa mga Pilipino. Hindi lang ho siya nga yung mahilig sa numero, kagaya ng ibang mahilig sa numero, wala yung mga yan. Pero itong si Prof. Malu Tigea, mahilig na sa numero at tumitindig pa kung ano yung sinisigaw ng mga numero. Yan si Prof. Malu Tigea. Palakpakan natin. Importante yan eh. Hindi lang tayo puro numero. Dapat kung ano yung sinisigaw ng numero, isigaw din natin. Di ba? Ito, dito tayo kay Ma'am Shestrilon. Isa sa mga bigo ngayon.
Vice President Sara Duterte once again topped Pulse Asia's presidential
Naku.
preferences for the 2028 elections.
Naku.
Duterte got 49% support while former Vice President, now Naga City Mayor,
Ito. Para lang, ikaw naman Risa, syempre si Risa kahit ganyan hindi, ayaw ko napapahiya siya dito sa PH Update kaya ilalagay ko dyan yan. Ito ito yung pinaka-late na sa survey. Yung tatlong pinaka-uli, walang kwenta yan. Yung lang sa election, sa presidential, dalawa lang yan. Dalawa lang maglalaban dyan. Dito sa panahon na to, walang dark horse dito, walang Rodrigo Duterte dito. ito ano lang to, dark lang talaga si Torre pero hindi yan maging presidente. Pinag-uusapan dark horse, hindi kulay atay yung balat, hindi yun, iba yun, di ba? Sa pagdating sa pagiging presidente, dalawa lang nilalaban diyan. Kunyari, Lenny, Marcos, walang isko, hindi kasama sa usapan yan. Automatic, ang mga Pilipino, gusto lang nila sumusugal sila doon sa talagang sino mananalo, diyan ako sa mananalo. Ganyan lang naman eh. Diba? Tanggapin na natin yan ang katotohanan. Tapos yung mga kontropelo, ayaw ko yan, talagang solid ako. Pero karamihan ng ating mga kababayan, aminin na natin, meron talagang bandwagon mentality. Diba? Nung kay Marcos Jr., panalo na yan, ayaw ko matalo. Diba? At yan ang mangyayari kay BP Sara. Meron talagang bandwagon mentality. Aminin natin yan. Pero karamihan ng mga boboto kay Sara Duterte, alam nila, naiintindihan kung ano ang pinaglalaban ni BP Sara. Bakit? Sa loob ng 4 na taon, walang humpay na pagbira ginawa ng administrasyon na to kay BP Sara. Nakikita yan ng taong bayan. Nakikita yan na ba't bira ng bira itong si Marcos Jr. Wala namang nagagawa. Itong si Sara Duterte, kahit anong bira sa kanya, talagang tuloy-tuloy yung pagtatrabaho. Yan ang resulta. 49%. At nakikita ho natin tataas pa yan habang tumatagal ang impeachment. Siguro bababa bahagya, pero pag mag-uumpisa na ang election dyan, yan na yung nila yung last card nila yan, yung impeachment na yan. Pagka hindi pa nila nasira si BP Sara dyan, wala na GG. Good game. Wala na. Sports game na Wag na kayo mag-eleksyon tapos na ibigay nyo na kay BP Sara yung panguluhan. Di ba? Dito tayo. Tuloy natin.
Lenny Robredo ranked second with 26%. Senator Raffy Tulfo is third with 14%. DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon and Baguio City Mayor Benji Magalong also figured in the list. Other names that emerged, Senator Robin Padilla, President Bongbong Marcos, Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte, Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto, Senators Ping Lacson, Tito Soto, and Risa Ontiveros, and Laguna Governor Sol Aragones. In the vice presidential race, Senator Bongo led the field with 27% support, ahead of Senator Robin Padilla's
Bakit? Etong dalawa na to nanguna. Si Senator Robin, Senator Bongo, nagtatrabaho. Si Pamakino, nagbibida-bida.
21%. Padilla, however, topped the survey for the 2028 senatorial race with 48.4% support, followed by Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto at 47.9%. Others in the list were current Senators Alan Peter Cayetano, Loren Legarda, and Mark Villar. Some Senate alumni, Manny Pacquiao, Nancy Binay, and Sani Angara, as well as columnist Ben Tulfo, Senators Jinggoy Estrada and Chis Escudero, and also TV host Willie Revillame, Mike Defensor, Mar Rojas, newly appointed Cabinet Secretary Benher Abalos, and Mark Lapid.
Yang si Sen Mike, automatic na yan, magsisenador yan sa 2028. Wala na makakapigil yan kay Mike Defensor. Senador ho yan sa 2028, kahit anong gawin ng mga dilawan at pinklawan, kahit ano pang pagkontra dyan, magsisenador si Mike Defensor. Period. Okay? Huwag na kayong kumontra. Senator Mike, ninostra ko na nga eh. Ba't biglang napunta dyan pangalan niya? Kung hindi matindi yung nakikita nila, nakikipaglaban eh. Hindi na. Kaya para doon sa mga talagang nagpapakita ng presensya dito sa paglaban natin sa flag control na to. Hindi kayo makakalimutan na sambayan ng Pilipino. Pagdating ng eleksyon, malamang sa malamang, makikita nyo yung suporta ng sambayan na dyan.
Survey had 2,400 respondents and it was conducted between June 28 and July 3rd. Now let's analyze this further with Ronald Holmes, President of Pulse Asia Research Incorporated. Good evening. Welcome to the big story once again.
Good evening, Cez.
Now, these names, how are they chosen first of all? Like we had Mayor Benji Magalong, Secretary Vince Dizon. Why? Why?
It's within their group, and essentially we're just looking at reports and possible personalities that might be. Actually, some of them have been mentioned as potential candidates by specific groups. Some of them we listed with the belief that if the administration were to field a candidate. One of the leading or the more prominent members of the cabinet might be the one. So this is all essentially, well, partly it's based on reports, partly it's speculative also, but it's a good way of actually testing the level of support for a full range of personalities covering all the political camps.
All right. Now, when you conducted this survey, the House Committee on Justice had already concluded its hearings, and the Senate was already in the getting ready to hold its trial, convert itself into an impeachment court. So these developments had no impact at all on the ratings of VP Sara.
Essentially, the ratings, despite an increase in the long list, in the list that we had 6 names, remain constant. Even if you look at the approval and trust ratings of the Vice President, they're almost the same as what we had in March.
Aray ko.
In the long list, there's an increase, I think, of about 6 points. But that may not necessarily mean that it's just simply the lack of an impact of the impeachment. It may also mean that among the persons that are listed there, 2 of the 6 personalities listed there, Mayor Lenny and Senator Raffy Tulfo, had repeatedly mentioned that they would not be running for the 2028 presidential elections. And that might have led towards some of their earlier supporters expressing interest or preference for other individuals, not necessarily those in the list, those that were volunteered and we reported out as unaided.
So Ron, parang wala kasi siyang kalaban. Parang ganon. Tama ba yun?
Siya pa lang ang deklarado eh. In that sense, I mean, it's similar to what we had in 2008. I think when we had pre-election surveys for the 2014, when we had pre-election surveys for the 2016 elections. At that time, I think the first one that we conducted, then Vice President Judge Omar Binay was at more than 40%, I think 41%. Trailing behind him was Grace Poe, I think at 14%. So the distance was that huge, not that large. That was largely because it was widely perceived, although he not declared then, that he was really going to run for president. So it's almost in the same situation that we have right now.
Okay. So, or can we say na parang nothing sticks with the Duterte name? They can behave badly, supposedly, or, you know.
Makabadly naman to. So. Hindi ba pwede frustrated lang sila sa nangyayari sa Pilipinas? Kaya sila nakakapagsalita ng ganun? Behave badly, pambihira. Malakpan mo na natin si Ma'am Ches. Kaya ako lagi pinapanood to eh. Pambihira naman talaga oh.
Issue threats, but
Conditional naman, madam. Kayo naman. Na-interview mo na't lahat-lahat si Atty. Panelo. Behave badly. Issue threats pa. Oh, talaga naman.
gusto pa rin sila ng botante.
Well,
Can
that's
you say that?
Yeah. I mean, you can say that there's this particular identity and
Dilawan na
brand that the
dilawan,
Duterte
no?
name exudes. It's a political brand that is associated with supposedly discipline, purportedly what's this, decisiveness,
Discipline?
and of course, I mean supposedly discipline.
Ayaw na rin. Supposedly nga eh. Discipline. Silang tunay na kamay na bakal. Eh si Ping Lacson yung pinagmamalaki niya dati. Hindi kamay na bakal yun. Kamay na maleta yun. Hindi, saan ka ba nagbubuhat ng maleta? Di ba siya kamay? Oh. Kamay na maleta, pinagbubuhat ng maleta, kamay. Kaya talaga, oh.
Allegedly decisive.
O para dito sa huling interview mo na yan kay Ma'am Shesh. Dito sa Pulse Asia Manager.
And action, or resolute action. But of course, that's a brand. That's the brand. That's how they project themselves to be. And the other thing that they have played up fairly consistently over the past few years is that they are being persecuted by the current administration. So in that sense, their narrative is resonating, especially for certain areas that are considered their bases. And because of the substantive support in those areas, that's the reason why they're leading, why Sara Duterte is leading in the pre-election preference for the forthcoming 2028 presidential election.
Or could this preference also be a vote against, the government, the administration, because, the economy doesn't look too good. Many people are suffering from high prices, high inflation, and the VP has very high numbers in Class E, right?
Yeah. Well, it's partly that, and I would say that it's in combination with the initial narrative of the Dutertes that they're being persecuted. Because
Ba't tayo nyo ba kasing tanggapin na mahal ng taong bayan itong mga Duterte? Okay yan yung naratibo na dahil ba pangit ang ekonomiya kaya galit ng mga tao sa administrasyon kaya umaalagwa si Sara Duterte. Okay lang sana ganun yung ganung naratibo kung mula sa baba tataas si Sara. Ganun yun di ba? Magkaaway itong dalawa. Mataas si Marcos Jr. Mataas siya, di ba? Mataas, mababa si Sara. Bumababa itong si Marcos Jr., tumataas si Sara. Bumababa itong manok ng administrasyon sa presidential election sa 2028, tumataas si Sara. Ganon yon. Disgusto sa kasalukuyang administrasyon. Ganon yung, hindi naman ako eksperto kagaya nitong si Sara. Ito payak lang naman na pag-intindi ko sa mga numero, di ba? Kasi kung 100 yan, kung ganon lang karami butante, hindi mo pwedeng paramihin dyan. Di ba? Aalis kay Marcos, pupunta kay Sara. Problema ganito ang senaryo natin. Ma'am Ses, pareha silang mataas. Si Marcos Jr. bumaba. Ngayon, itong si Sara, na-maintain niya yung kanyang level. Ganun pa rin, bumaba ng bahagya, pero ganun pa rin naglalaro. Bumaba si Marcos, pumunta kay Leni Robredo. Doon, yun ang dahilan kung bakit tumataas si Leni. Yung mga Talyanista, Ensaymada, Dilawan, Piglawan, nag-all out sila kay Leni ngayong mga panahon na to. Pero kami, yung mga talagang taga-suporta ni PRRD, solid Duterte, di ba? Hindi yan mababago. Kahit anong kabalbalang sabihin mo, Ma'am Ses.
Other thing is that who is persecuting them? They're saying that the persecution comes from administration that they believe to be, and this, I can't recall the exact words of the vice president, that we basically were left with only one vice president, implying that the president is not supposedly doing his work. So in that case, the conditions right now where people are faced with material difficulties provide credence to the argument of the Dutertes that the administration is not attentive to the concerns of ordinary Filipinos. And that doesn't help the administration any, and it definitely lends, as I said, support for the allegation and the assertion of the Duterte camp that the administration is not performing or that the president is incompetent for that matter.
So does that mean that the findings of the impeachment court, should it convict, would be discounted as political persecution? Could that be possible?
Well, let's see, because eventually the decision will be resting in the Senate, and you need 2/3 of the members of the Senate, and if they decide to convict the vice president and decide subsequently also to bar her from holding any public office, so that ends her political career essentially. But that doesn't mean the end of the Dutertes, because I'm pretty sure that they have someone that they would...
Napakamot si Ma'am Arico. Ano ba naman tong ini-interview ko na to? At naiintindihan ng Palace Asia, yung mga solid taga-suporta ng Duterte, na kung sakaling ma-impeach si Sara, kung sino man i-endorse niya, yun ang isusuporta namin, yun ang i-all out namin. Diba? Ganun yun. Naiintindihan ng Pulse Asia yun.
Put up against to replace
Aray mo.
the current vice president as potential candidate in the 2028 elections.
Now let's go to ex-VP and now Naga City Mayor Leni Robredo. Are you seeing that this is hanggang dyan na lang ang opposition votes? Is this a ceiling na lang ba?
Teka lang, madam, pagka sinabing opposition vote, kami yun. Si Leni Robredo, ka-picture taking nga si Marcos Jr. Ganyang klaseng panluloko ang pinapalaganap ng mainstream media. Hindi opposition si Leni, anak ng tokwa. Magbubuhos daw na sandamukal na investment sa naga ang administrasyon. Paano siya naging opposition? Yan ang ayoko eh. Di ba? Wala na nga pinag-aralan ng mga Pilipino. Hindi na nga ganoon. Kataas ang pinag-aralan, niluloko pa nito mga... Doon lang tayo, black and white lang tayo. Pagka totoo sabihin natin, pagka black sabihin natin black. Pagka black sabihin natin white, para tayo mga siraulo. Ano oposisyon? Si Leni oposisyon. Siya nga mamanukin ng administrasyon sa 2020. Yoko na.
Yung 20, is it 26?
Amses naman.
26%.
26. It's 26
Bira naman.
says, but it's 26
Ma'am Ses naman ha, last na yung mga kabalbalan mo. Last na please.
of a person who had categorically said that she would not be running for election. So in that sense, it's not so much of a ceiling. It is an indication of a support base that might dwindle if she continues to say that she will not be running and eventually doesn't run, or that might increase if she suddenly changes her mind. Because if you subsequently declare, that means that it's the people might reflect on their own choices, and eventually her group would definitely organize in order to mobilize support. So I wouldn't look at it as a ceiling because the number is quite considerable. 1 out of 4 Filipinos expressing support for someone who said she's not interested to go back to a national position.
So that, on the contrary, that might egg others to continue to press her, even if she has said no.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that people who are convinced that she would be the more viable candidate would urge her. But, you know, one of the things that we've seen in the past is that I think it's very important for groups that are ideologically aligned, that means for the liberal progressive opposition, to start their work right now, regardless of who the candidates is, and unite around that particular candidate, whether it's the former vice president, whether it's any one of their current senators, or any other person that they believe can definitely represent the liberal and progressive opposition.
Right. Well, Senator Risa Hontiveros has
Nako, yun ang
already...
sinasabi ko. Yan ang nga ba sinasabi ko. Pinasok na nitong si Ma'am Ses, itong si Risa.
somehow declared and indicated her willingness. Why is she not among the top choices?
Aray ko.
Well, let me clarify.
Yun yung pinakamasakit na tanong sa lahat, no? Ibinibida mo na yung ibinabalandra mo na katawan mo, di ba? Ibinabalandra mo na ayaw ka pa din ng taong bayan. Yan ang problema kay Risa Hontiveros.
There is a specific set that we have where it's a one-on-one race between Sara Duterte and Senator Risa Hontiveros. And in that particular set, she draws about 1 out of 5 votes. No, you have Sara Duterte leading with about 3 out of 5 votes. But this is a point where, you know, Senator Risa has yet to really go out and proclaim what she would wish to focus on if indeed she would run for president.
So that
it's not
1 out of
necessary-
5 is a good number.
It's pretty good. I mean, if you're looking at all other presidential elections in the past, when we did polling for the 2016 election, we had Rodrigo Duterte at the starting point. The first poll that we did, he was, what, 12, 15? So double digit, but also low double digit. 20 is definitely a higher double digit. And he was up against other candidates, Noynoy Aquino, Manny Villar, Ella Estrada. I mean, no. He was up against Binay and Grace Poe.
Grace po, Mar Rojas.
Yeah, I mixed up my elections. But double digit, and he did not decline. His preference did not decline. People were saying that he was not in contention from the outset. What our survey shows that he had double digit preferences, and eventually, slowly, incrementally move up to end up with about 39% of the popular vote, if I'm not mistaken.
So meaning, this compares to
Well, it really compares to the position that other candidates had.
Si Ses Drilon talaga, hindi ko pa malaman. Ano bang ginawa sa inyo ni PR? Ba't itong mga taga-mainstream media na to? Ano bang ginawa sa inyo ni Tatay Digong? Nakinabang din naman kayo dun sa matahimik na pamayanado mga panahon na yun. Ba't galit na Ego lang yan, ego. Pero alam naman nila na talagang nagbenepisyo sila doon sa pagiging presidente nitong si dating Pangulo Rodrigo. Alam nila yan, alam nila yan.
Of course, I don't know whether we should expect a one-on-one between Sara Duterte and another candidate from the Liberal Progressive Opposition.
Ako gusto ko tumakbo si Lenny, di ba? Para hindi ka pa nadala o isahin ka pa namin. Langya ka, hindi ka pa nadala ha? Hindi, baka hindi pa siya nadala noong 2022 eh. Di ba? Bibigyan pa natin ng isa. Makakapanood ulit tayo ng panibagong Len serye. Budburan nyo na ng asin yung anak ni Gary Valenciano. Pag ganyan yun eh. Budburan nyo na ng asin. Sabihin nyo sa kanya mag-ensayo na siya.
But
If it
okay,
ends
let's
up-
go into that scenario. Sorry to interrupt your train of thought, but if we're going to a one-on-one battle, so to speak, what would be the outcome?
Well, if the elections were held at the time that we conducted the survey, Sara Duterte would win with about 6 out of 10 votes, and Risa would have 2 out of 10.
Aray
And,
ko.
the rest would be basically undecided, or they refuse to vote. They would not even turn out. If it's a one-on-one, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, one-on-one between
Patapusin
Sara
mo kasi yung punto. Kung magaling ka pala, ba't ka pa nag-imbita ng taga-Pulse Asia dyan, di ba? Mula ngayon, ano na tayo? One News survey. Yan. Okay na mag-survey na kayo sa One News.
Len.
Then it's 5 against 4. But at this
close.
point in time. So that means 52% favor Vice President Sara, 39% favor Mayor Lenny. So that's close.
That's close.
That's,
Yeah, it's that.
yung tipo pag-asa ni sister. Wow, that's close. Close yun. Pwede na yan. Laban natin yan. Parang nato ko. Ilaban nyo. Itulak nyo si Lenny Robredo, Ma'am Ses.
But
Biglang hindi na viable si Risa Hontiveros, Lenny Robredo na lang. Malayo. Oh, okay. Tapos tinanong niya si Lenny. Oh, that's close.
says the real situation is that we're still more than 2 years to go before the 2028 elections.
Yeah.
Decisions that are made early, either by any group, by any political camp, would eventually have an impact in terms of their chances. So far, the decision made by Sara Duterte to declare early might have already been brought about by an organization that has been created to propel her to the presidency 2028. And anyone who would contest that would definitely have to prepare now, whether it's Mayor Lenny, whether it's Senator Risa, whether it's someone else, whether it's someone from the administration, or any other independent candidate.
And going back to Risa Hontiveros, if she prepares that one can be converted quickly.
It definitely can, because what we see in the numbers here would be that she's polling well in the National Capital Region. She's not doing that badly in the rest of Luzon, which constitutes almost half of the voting population. She gets about 1 out of 4 votes in the Visayas. It's really Mindanao that has been the main base that has consistently led towards the current vice president leading in re-election preference surveys.
When will you come out, or when is it time to get a reading of what the people think of the impeachment trial?
Excited na tong si Excited na tong si Ses Drilon. Kung yung impeachment ba may epekto sa mga survey result netong si VP Sara. Pa talaga naman titingnan na nila kung gumagana ba ang paninira kay VP Sara. Mga kababayan yung mga taga Mindanao alam naman nila. Yung mga survey na ipinapakita ko sa inyo, sabi propaganda ang impeachment ni Sara. Naiintindihan ng taong bayan. Ngayon, pagka ang pinakaunang survey, 3 survey, di lang tayo nagre-rely sa isa kasi sabi ni Prof. Malutiquia, itong proof natin. Ito si Prof. Malutiquia, isang survey linabas na bumaba si Sara Duterte sa mga susunod na survey. Pwedeng merong epekto yung sinasabi nila, yung impeachment. Okay, isang survey, sinabi ganon. Pero kung dalawa, 3, 4, yung pangalawa, pangatlo, pang-apat na survey firm, iba yung binabalita. Ibig sabihin, bayad dito. Pero pagka itong 3 na to, kasi hindi pwedeng magkopyahan, mind your own paper, di ba? Hindi pwedeng gayahan yan, di ba? Meron silang kanya-kanyang metodolohiya, di ba? Metodolohiya o kung ano ba yan. May technique silang ginagamit. Meron silang mahika o mga numero. Pinagmamat-mat nila yan, di ba? Hindi walang kopyahan. Ngayon, pagka itong 4 na to, sinabi, nakaka-apekto yung impeachment trial sa numero ni Sara. Yun, maniniwala tayo. Pero pagka isa lang, hindi. Ngayon, pagka ito, walang naging epekto ang impeachment trial laban sa mga numero ni VP Sara, itigil na natin yan. Kung ang target nyo, si VP Sara, mapababa ang mga numero nyo sa mga survey na maglalabasan, ibig sabihin, hindi kayo nagtatagumpay. Nagsasayang lang tayo ng 25 million kada araw. Tama ba ako, Prof. Malo? Di ba? Yan ang prof ko yan eh. Di ba? Hindi ko naman ang tagal ko na yung pinakikinggan pagka hanggang ngayong mga panahon na to. Wala pa akong alam, baka wala na. Diba? Pero ngayon sa tingin ko kung estudyante ako nitong si Prof. Malo, ako dyan? 3 ako dyan. At least pasado, di ba? 3 ako dyan. 75, ika nga. Yan, naiintindihan nyo 75 ako kay Prof. Malutiquia. Di ba, Prof? Importante pasado, ika nga natin. Okay na yung 75, okay. Sabi nyo naman yan. 75, okay na yan. Pag nakagraduate ka, okay na yan. Si Prof. Malo yung teacher ko dyan. Professor ko yan eh.
When as soon as the trial has started, you and I says, I don't know about you, but I have been glued to either my earbuds or
Exactly. We lose how many hours a day glued?
But I have to work, so that sometimes I just listen and I mute if I cannot work. But there's nothing much that can be said to be that appealing, or many times it has been boring. But it will really depend on how it moves. No? I don't know whether it will be even completed before we conduct the next survey, which would be August or September.
But you will include. Will you have a separate survey on the ongoings at the impeachment trial, or?
We do have our quarterly survey. This is what we've done. We'll have another quarterly survey. And since the trial has begun, that will be the time that we can really measure how the trial, how allegations that are surfaced in the trial, whether the evidences are found to be truthful, whether those evidences they believe would be sufficient for either conviction or acquittal. The last point, I think, is going to be pretty difficult because, the appreciation of the public of what is presented in the court would definitely be less than that which would be seen by those in the court, the prosecution, defense, and the senators. So we will need to craft questions that allow us to really get a sense of the public's stance relative to whether the allegations are truthful, believable, and so therefore what the actions that the Senate should take, the Senate as an impeachment court should take.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. So August to September, ang tagal pa. But baka parang impeachment trial din yan.
Yeah, baka nga matapos sa impeachment trial kasi mukhang budyo na yung ibang tao doon.
We thank you for your time. Pulse Asia.
You're welcome, Ma'am Shesh. Ayun na nga, dito na ho natatapusin ang ating reaction video. Maraming salamat sa pagsuporta sa PH Update. Mag-ingat ho kayo lahat. Ngayong gabi, Ma'am Shesh, matulog ho kayo na mahimbing. Diba? Para, yung tipong unti-unti nyo nang tanggapin na magpipresidente si Sara Duterte sa 2028. Ang tanong, sige, impeachment kayo na impeachment. May numero ba? May numero ba? Nailatag na natin lahat ng pwedeng ikasira ni BP Sara. Merong prosecution, Senator. Merong defense, Senator. Huwag na tayo maglokohan. Wala pa rin silang numero. Anong gusto nyo? Cornerin yung mga kaalyadong senador ni Sara Duterte para ika nga bumoto ng yes sa impeachment. Kalokohan. Kalokohan ho yan, mga kababayan. Dito na ho natatapusin to. Maraming salamat sa pagsuporta sa PH Update. Mag-ingat ho kayo lahat. Mahal natin ang Pilipinas. Mahal natin si Ma'am Ses.